And in the meantime, I am going to see if I have any update on the results of the primary today. I mean, I think we all know what's going to happen, but I'm waiting for you guys to tune in here. Got a couple viewers. While we're waiting, just feel free to put something in the chat if you want to talk about it, or if you want to vent, rant, do whatever you guys know. I try to make it as inclusive as possible. Hey, Brad. While we're waiting, does anyone have any updates on numbers? I believe the polls closed. Actually, they close right now, so there may not be anything. Let's see. Okay. All right. I don't see anything coming in as of yet. So this is interesting. So like a bunch of stuff has happened today. So John Lewis, we all remember John because he was a fighter in the civil rights. But a lot of us remember him because in 2016, he was asked why he didn't endorse Bernie, and he said, I had never heard of him, in which case photos came up of him with Bernie and Jane. So he blatantly lied. Now today he came out, John Lewis came out today and endorsed Biden. So yet again, instead of, endorsing someone who marched with MLK, just like he did, and, got arrested for civil rights, just like he did, he chose to endorse the person who lied about standing up for civil rights, and who lied about doing things in that movement, and also lied about a million other things, and who has a history working with segregationists. So yeah, it's really an example of people who don't just get credit because they did something 50 years ago. You can still give them props for that and then still say you fucked up right now. Reverend Jesse Jackson. In 2016, he was one of the people that upset me the most, because as those of you who have read stories about Bernie's time, becoming mayor and stuff in Vermont, Bernie was Jesse Jackson's literally his only ally. Bernie was the only one standing up for him, running for president. He was the only one unwavering. Bernie got smacked in the face by some, white lib lady for daring to endorse the black man instead of their corporate candidate. And Bernie had been there for Jesse Jackson for decades. Jesse proceeded to endorse Hillary, who has a history of racism. And it was a huge, huge punch to the gut. That was something that really, out of all the endorsements, that was one of the worst ones for me. This time, Jesse did endorse Bernie, and he works on our campaign. I'm so glad, because he got a second chance. I still don't agree with what he did last time, but I'm glad he did the right thing this time. Yeah, Brad, absolutely. That's a great point. I forgot about that. Yeah, Brad made the good point that Lewis endorsed Obama, which put him on Hillary's shit list. So that was even more perplexing, that he would endorse her. But I think we all know what it comes down to is, money, status. One of the other endorsements, lack of endorsements this time, that bothered me the most as well is Spike Lee. In 2016, Spike was all about Bernie, all about him. He was like doing speeches for us, and he was talking like he believed in our movement. Spike Lee this time endorsed Kamala Harris. Spike Lee has been one of the most prominent, African American voices in film and what have you. And to back oh man, that was something like, whoa. Like, and then he still hasn't come out to endorse Bernie after she dropped out. So it's not like, and he's not from California or anything. So you can say, whatever you want to try and rationalize it. That was like, no, I will never think of Spike Lee the same. That was bad. That was bad. I understand she's a woman of color. I get it. But I won't even go there because I'm white, but let's just say I was disappointed, as were a lot of others. Everybody is making a big deal about John Lewis. I get it. He's well known, and he's, well liked by a lot of people because of his past. So everybody's favorite person lately is Alyssa Milano, because she is, by favorite, I mean the most abhorrent. She has been on an all-out Bernie and Bernie bro attack the past few days, like just going to town. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter or if you remember this, but she actually posted something from George Takei, who's also a total neo-lib apologist. And it stated, "I pledge to not say anything, negative about any nominees and or anyone campaigning." And she literally in the past 3 days has shared absolutely every right-wing media slanderous garbage articles she can find on Bernie, one after another. Someone timed them and it was an average of 17 minutes. Just one after another. And then, people were commenting, I guess Bernie supporters were commenting on John Lewis endorsing the person who lied about being in civil rights movement instead of the one who was actually in it. I don't know who said what. I don't tone police, whatever. So, but all of a sudden, Alyssa Milano is having a temper tantrum, complete temper tantrum. Bernie Sanders, come get your Bernie bros. They are attacking John Lewis. And it was just very, very obvious that she was waiting for Berners to say or do something that she can, she's a professional victim. She wanted desperately to have something tangible to say, Bernie, come get your people. Because in reality, we're defending ourselves. I mean, she is going after, us because she decided to stand up for Joe Biden and basically discredit Tara Reade's accusation, even though Alyssa Milano has prided herself as being like one of the Me Too people. And she, Women's March, all those things, like she was like, for years, she's been the advocate for women, like the advocate for women. And, it was bad enough when she backed Hillary, who was married to a rapist. But now she's actually like, we were posting Tara Reade things in her comments about, Tara talking about how, Biden sexually assaulted her. And she kept ignoring. She took Me Too hashtag out of her bio. And so did Simone Sanders, went back and deleted all her Kavanaugh tweets because we were calling her a hypocrite. And, so all this is happening. And then, Alyssa finally says Tara Reade's name yesterday on some Andy something or other. He's on Bravo. He is just like, I don't know what his name is, but he's this, painfully obnoxious dude on Bravo, and he's so insipid. And Alyssa Milano went on his show, and she's like, oh, I really don't speak about Tara Reade, but I'm just going to say this. And essentially she said, I don't believe in destroying a good man. I think due process, blah, 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 the whole nine, just complete apologist and just totally disgusting. And the host, Andy, is like, good. Yeah. Bernie bros. And yeah, Andy Cohen. What an absolute twat. That guy, oh my freaking gosh. I listened, the clip was 4 minutes and oh my God. I was like, my ears are bleeding. They're both painfully just disgusting. And so anyway, like she couldn't even talk because he was like, yes. Oh my God, yes. Like every word. I swear, you guys have to listen to it if you can stomach it. She couldn't even talk without him being all over her. So, he's calling us Bernie bros. Must be nice to be like rich and, stuff like that. And Alyssa is just going to town about, how evil we are and how she doesn't believe Tara Reade and she believes that Joe is a good man. Elizabeth Warren also came out 2 days ago and gave a big long statement about how Joe Biden is a good man, and he is something the country needs to unite. She didn't actually say the word endorsement, Elizabeth Warren this is, but sure as fuck sounded like one. It's a hell of a lot nicer than she said about Bernie in like 3 months. We all know Liz is going to endorse Biden. She's just trying to dupe, the libs, in the meantime, which I don't understand why more of her fans are not disgusted by the fact that she absolutely lied about everything on her platform. Because if you drop out of the race, you should absolutely still fight for those things that you said you were fighting for. We're in a pandemic, and she has yet to say the words Medicare for all. We all knew she was a fraud. We knew she backed off on that when she was running. But the fact that her fans, many of her fans, still are not grasping what a fraud she is. Just a complete and total fraud. One thing I will suggest, oh, yeah, Brad, I was literally just going to bring that up. If you guys are on Twitter, seriously, oh my gosh, follow Rose McGowan. What a damn queen. She is ripping Alyssa Milano a new asshole. Ripping her a new asshole. It is incredible. Rose is so strong. And Rose has never said she's a Bernie supporter or anything like that. So they can't throw that at her because she's never been like, I'm voting for Bernie. I love Bernie. For her, she's just calling Alyssa out because she's worked with her. And she said, she is a lie. Alyssa is a lie. And I mean, she just nailed her several times. And it is beautiful. Her name is Rose McGowan. She did that show Charmed with her. She was like in Jawbreaker, Doom Generation. She's an actress. She was married to Marilyn Manson for a while. I think they were married. But yeah, she was one of Harvey Weinstein's victims. So it's very personal to Rose. And she said she's known she's a lie for several years. And it's so brave of her to come out and call this out just continuously and say, you're a lie. You are a lie. You don't believe that. You don't stick up. Like, we saw this, somewhat with, Bill Clinton. With Hillary Clinton, I didn't vote for Hillary. I wrote Bernie in. I knew I wasn't going to vote for Hillary. Since day one, I was like, I am not voting for her for a million reasons. But one of the reasons I didn't vote for Hillary is because her husband is a rapist and she bullied his accusers, and then says stuff like believe women, and people, go to these Me Too women's marches with Hillary buttons, and it's the biggest bullshit ever. And when I would call out her fans on it, they'd say, well, it wasn't her that raped people, it was her husband. So they would acknowledge that, he did. And it just became more and more disgusting. And I realized that, as long as you have a D next to your name, you're absolved from anything. I'm voting for Joe because Trump puts kids in cages. Actually, Joe did as well. I'm voting for I'm voting for Biden because Trump sexually assaults women. Okay, so does Biden. And it's like, they're so comparable, Biden and Trump. It's actually scary. Yeah, Crystal, absolutely. I definitely want to read her book. Yeah, well, I can't. I went legally blind, but I want to listen to it. I'm definitely looking forward to that. She's a warrior. Um, so, speaking of Biden and the pandemic, our campaign for 3 weeks has stated, do not go out and vote. We've sent press releases, we've sent emails, we've sent texts officially from Bernie's campaign. Do not go out and vote. You have till X day to send in paper ballots. Do not go out. It is not safe. And we've been keeping it real like that for 3 weeks. I know, I've been phone banking. I'm very well aware of what we've been doing and what we've publicized as well. So, Joe Biden, well, first of all, everyone's, up in arms at the GOP because the governor, literally at the last minute at 1:30 yesterday afternoon, the governor finally says, okay, let's cancel. We'll make it June 9th, which is the same day as I'm in Pennsylvania, ours, New York, New Jersey. And he says, okay. That was at 1:35 yesterday. The vote started this morning at 7 a.m. That's how last minute it was. But a few hours later, last night, the Supreme Court overruled and said that no, we will in fact do the in-person voting today. It was 4-5. Now, this is so disgusting. Like, we talk about, voter suppression. I've never seen any kind of voter suppression like this. Like, they are literally like, you're going to risk your life to vote. And, the lines were insane. They cut back, I think it was like 181 polling sites to 5. And the lines were just, and people were not 6 feet apart. They weren't. Not everyone had masks. Not everyone had gloves. They had the National Guard at a lot of places as the ones who were like handing out supplies and stuff, and they were in their garb. In no way, shape, or form was that safe. Joe Biden, every single day, I have all the videos, the statements, everything on my Twitter page. Every day he has been coming out and saying it is safe and using that exact word. It is safe to vote. That is so fucked up. Now, granted, his people should be smart enough to research it themselves, and they watch a hell of a lot of MSNBC and stuff like that, and they're probably talking about it. So it's their fault for taking his word instead of an actual doctor or scientist. But still, if you're going to vote for someone and they're saying, oh yeah, it's safe, then shame on him. He did it 2 weeks ago with Florida, and over 300 poll workers and voters have now been diagnosed with COVID. And that's what we're going to see today. A lot of these people are going to be diagnosed because it only takes one person. It's absolutely incredible. So people love to blame the Republicans for voting 4-5 to not, to overturn so that it'll, still be, happening today. But what about Joe Biden, who literally has done nothing to discourage it? We've every day, Bernie's been tweeting everything. Like, it is morally, irresponsible to hold it today. You're putting I can't tell people not to go because it's their choice, but please stay safe. Please do. The doctors are telling people not to leave the house. Like, he's all but physically said, do not leave, you dumb fuckers. Like, he has basically said everything less that. Whereas Joe is totally cool with people dying as long as they vote for him first. It's It's absolutely mind-blowing. Um, so frustrating. So, and you guys know the times, you guys know I have connections with the campaign, and I don't reveal my sources. This is not going to change. But I spoke with someone from the campaign for over an hour on the phone Sunday night. And I can honestly say that nothing is set in stone, but I do fear Bernie may drop out. It's killing me to say that. Not everyone on our campaign is trustworthy. We can see who is, follow people on social media. There's certain people who will never say a bad word about Biden. Then there's certain people like Sean King, Dave Sirota, Bree Joy, Nina Turner. They keep it real, and they call bullshit out 24/7. That's how our surrogates should be. That's how our campaign should be. Period. Some of our surrogates are more hardcore than our actual employees, and that's a problem. Some of the people who actually are employed by our campaign are not even worth a follow on Twitter. It's gross, and there's no sense of loyalty. There are people like some of us that are, have ink on our arm and, left our state for 5 weeks to, volunteer for the campaign. And we are like, we would do anything, and we have done anything, and we would be an asset to the campaign. But people got jobs on the campaign who are not devout, who are, praising Elizabeth Warren, who are sharing a poll showing that Biden's going to beat Trump by 1 point and saying this is good. Fuck that. Who are you with? Who? Josh Fox. I mean, let's be real, he proved himself in 2016 with all the vote shaming. Okay, so, I mean, he was like, when he was with Bernie, he was like, you can't vote for someone who supports fracking, and shame on you if you do. And then he was vote blue no matter who. Don't you dare vote third party. You need to vote for Hillary. And, now he's like, he literally said, anyone who puts never Biden with the hashtag is succumbing to Russia and Republicans. We are Russians and Republicans because we are never Biden. Don't fucking tone police us. We are this movement. Our campaign wouldn't have even made it to today if it weren't for us volunteers. It wouldn't. Bernie himself says that. We're the door knockers. We're the phone call makers. We're the donators. We're the ones who do this campaign. It couldn't survive without us. So don't come at us and be like, you're giving into Russian and GOP talking points. Excuse me? Are you fucking kidding me? Then the next day, Josh Fox just got ripped apart, and it was due. Because, like, when you come out and shame us, the never Bernie people have an orgasm. They're like, here's a campaign surrogate who literally came out and shamed them and said they shouldn't say never Biden. Your own surrogate said that. You suck. It is literally giving them fuel. And it's betrayal. you either represent us or you don't. As long as Bernie is in this race, you need to represent him and us. I don't want to hear anything positive about anyone else. Fuck it. Not going to happen with anyone who's devoted. It's just not. By them like saying, oh, props to Liz when she was still running, and oh, props to Biden, that to me is showing you're acting vote blue no matter who, and your loyalty is misplaced. Act like we're still in this thing, because as of right this moment, we are. Now, back to what I was saying, you know, with my conversation, you know, Bernie is weighing his options. And it fucking kills me to say that. As someone who has given their life to this campaign and has not been able to vote yet, I can honestly say if he drops before the end, I will never forgive him. Ever. Like, literally ever. I will always love him. I will always appreciate the way he's changed my life. But I will never, ever, 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 ever forgive him for dropping out early. Ever. Not a chance. And there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, 27 states haven't voted yet. No, you're not we the people if you just, if you don't include all of we the people. We deserve to vote. We've given our lives to this campaign. Number two, Joe Biden's brain is melting. And he's being accused of another sexual assault. If another person is not in the race and he has to drop, Trump is staying in. Why would we not want a second person? Because Biden is he's like nuts and he's incompetent. So the fact that we would have someone like that who is a complete liability on several levels and have him running against no one except Trump, you are asking to reelect Trump. So there is no reason why Bernie shouldn't stay in, even as a backup. To me, it's not even about winning at this point. Do I believe we can still win? Yes. Is it super likely? But the point is, we shouldn't quit ahead of time. Also, I'll keep it real as usual. If Bernie drops, seeing those shit libs, like, ha ha, your guy abandoned you, ha ha, he listened to us, will fucking kill me. Like, seriously, it'll fucking kill me. It'll be the end of me. For him to drop, he would be, enabling that kind of behavior. You need to drop. Fuck you, Bernie. Fuck you. You need to drop. Fuck enabling that. You don't get to say who should drop. You don't get to say that shit. He should be representing us. Period. Don't listen to other people who don't give a fuck about our campaign. Listen to those who got our campaign where it is today. Period. So, I talked to this person on the campaign for over an hour. The reason they called me, I've talked to them, before, but the main reason they called me is because they were going to speak with Bernie later that night. And they wanted to get a feel from me on how I would feel as a devout Bernie supporter if he dropped early. And also what my take would be that my followers, how they would feel as well. And I didn't hold back. I made it very clear that many of us will never forgive him. I also made it clear, Robert, that it makes us physically ill when Bernie says, Joe's a friend of mine. I also stated that it is bullshit that he doesn't call Biden out. Even for today, call Biden out. Say, why are you telling people it's safe to go vote? I mean, these are valid things that he very easily could call out. There's no like, malice or anything with that. Speak up. So I made these things very, very, I was very honest and very transparent. The person said to me, how many, devout burners do you think will vote for Joe? I said, well, I sure as fuck won't. And I said, I think it's probably safe to say about 9 out of 10 burners will not. Now, that doesn't mean I voted for Bernie, but I just don't want Trump. I'm talking devout burners, devout, volunteered for him, things like that. I'd say maybe 9 out of 10 will say never Biden, because that's sure what I see online. And most of our diehard burners are online. And he was, he'd be kind of, bothered by that. So I'm like, okay, good. I want to share that. So, the person who, was asking me these questions was like, what do you think about the timing? Because, he's thinking about, we're likely going to lose today. He said Tuesday, but today. And he said, it's a possibility he's going to do it then. So there is a possibility that this week we're going to be really fucking hurt and really disappointed. I told a person from the campaign I was speaking with that it is way too premature and it is not fair to those of us who have worked so hard and haven't even gotten a chance to vote for the campaign that we have fought tooth and nail for. So also, one of the things I told this person from the campaign as to why Bernie shouldn't drop is because Joe himself has actually stated that his VP needs to be able to step up immediately because he's not campaigning past June. Another reason why it is so dumb to consider dropping right now is after today, we're not having any more primaries until June 9th. That literally would give us 2 months of solid campaigning. It would be hopefully at least another few weeks of rallies if we get back to normal. I think the one not doing rallies is really hurting us. I think that's, that's one of the problems. But, that would give us 2 solid months of more campaigning. And it would also give us 2 solid months of Joe's brain to further implode. You drop, and a week from now, Joe has a 3rd brain aneurysm. Oh, well, you dropped. Now what? Now we're fucked. Because now Trump just got elected again because we have no damn nominee because you dropped out. Staying in would work to our advantage any way you look at it. So I tried to convey this to the campaign associate who the staff who I spoke with. And for those just joining, I spoke with someone, one of the top people on Bernie's campaign for over an hour on the phone Sunday night. And that person was going to talk with Bernie on the phone later that night. So they wanted my, opinion of, what are our thoughts as far as, should he drop? And I said, I'm like, okay, listen, like there is literally no burner in the entire world who would say, yeah, drop. It doesn't exist. Why the fuck would any of us say, yeah, drop? I also told this person that if you think there's a lot of never Biden now, tell Byrne to drop early and watch how bad Biden fails then. Because I have a feeling if Byrne dropped early, Biden would get even more hate and even less votes because people would be so disgusted by our guy being pushed out that they'd want to rebel and be like, fuck you, now I'm really not voting for him. Yeah, the Cuomo garbage, like total dumpster fire. He's literally like, putting more people in prisons and cutting Medicaid and everything like that now of all times. And on Twitter, Cuomo sexual was trending because people think he's sexy, which makes me fucking ill. But it's like, it just goes to show that like libs will absolutely ignore every bad thing about someone and just like make them a sex symbol or like anything like that. It is so disgusting. And the thought of someone like, we've won a number of states. We've done all the debates. We've won almost 1,000 delegates. The thought of someone coming in, never debating, never holding a rally, never getting a single delegate, never winning a state, and becoming a nominee is probably one of the most undemocratic things I've ever heard in my fucking life. And anyone's okay with that is a fucking fascist. Because that's some bullshit. That's fascism. We will install who we want. That is completely undemocratic. That has nothing to do with listening to we the people. Yeah, it's going to work to the advantage of people whose lives won't change and who don't give a fuck. Like rich white people, they'll take anyone. Their lives aren't going to change anyway. But the fact that like they are cool with just inserting someone who's earned nothing is so disgusting. Yeah, it's a coup. Absolutely, that's a coup. But the difference between now and 2016 is in 2016, they tried to hide this shit. Like this time, they're just like, guess what we're doing? They don't even try to hide it anymore. They're open about it. They don't even try. And people don't care. So why try to hide it? Yeah, old gringo. That's what I hear too. But the thing is, if Bernie drops, then at the convention, it'll work out differently. So Bernie needs to try and he needs to stay in. First of all, we haven't even gotten all our fucking delegates yet. Freaking, February 3rd, literally, like, or March 3rd, rather, over a month ago, was Super Tuesday. We still haven't even gotten all our California delegates, for fuck's sake. And that's because we're actually closer to Biden than they want people to think. They also started doing what they started doing with Hillary last time. They started including 100 and something of Joe's super delegates in the totals. In actuality, we are, I believe, something like 220 different from Biden. But we have more than Obama had at this point. I honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I want to believe it, I absolutely think we could win New York. I absolutely do. And that alone would put us over. This is why I think it's so imperative Bernie stays in. But unfortunately, like I said, he's wavering. And it breaks my fucking heart because that would be a betrayal of just such ridiculous proportions. And I'll never forgive him. I'm also trying to think like, do I still go to Milwaukee? Do I? I don't know. If Bernie drops, what the fuck would I? I don't fucking know. Because when I went in 2016, it was to protest the cheating. But if Bernie drops out, what the fuck am I protesting for? He gave up. Yeah, Nathan, the thing is, where the fuck is AOC? Where the fuck is she? Where is she? Why isn't she saying Bernie needs to stay in? Where is she? She's not saying that. The people saying Bernie needs to stay in, John Cusack, Sean King, Brie Joy, Nina Turner. When people come at you and say that Bernie should drop, tell them this. Brie said something really fascinating and really on point 2 days ago on Twitter. She stated that 4 out of 5 of the most heavily African American populated states have not yet voted. So canceling the primaries before all states have voted is actually inadvertently racist, because only one state that is primarily African American has voted. And I was like, holy shit, like that's really, like, Bernie should touch on that shit, because that puts things really into perspective. Like, people died to vote, and now you're sending them out to vote and they're gonna die. And we all deserve the right to get out and exercise our right to vote. Oh yeah, Ilhan and Rashida impressed me more too. I met Rashida when I was volunteering in Iowa, and that woman, I fucking love her. Like, one of the kindest, sweetest, I could squeeze her all day. I love Rashida, like, so much. She is so amazing. I've always liked her, but seeing her speak live had me bawling. It had me in goosebumps. And then, she talked to me afterwards and I started getting emotional, and she grabbed my hands and she started crying too. And she just kept hugging me. And I was like, damn, like, she is so fucking real. She is real. Like, AOC lost a lot of that. I interviewed AOC when she was first starting out, and she's not that person anymore. So yeah, I need AOC to step the fuck up. I need Bernie to step the fuck up. And I don't know. Let me see if there's any word on the primary. I mean, we're gonna lose tonight. I just want to see, like, what. Also, one of the things that I put um, people who are constantly saying like, um, if Bernie dropped out, they wouldn't have to, um, go and vote today. Actually, that's not accurate because the libs are the ones who are always saying things like blue wave and we got to vote down ballot for Dems. And if Bernie wasn't in the race anymore, nobody would go vote because they'd be like, it's just down ballot. Like, I don't have a choice of president. So I wouldn't fucking go out. I mean, down ballot doesn't mean a billionth as much as voting for the president. So, just let people know they're not making any kind of fucking sense by saying, oh, yeah, uh, Bernie dropped out. We wouldn't have to be voting. Bullshit. Plus, there's things on the ballot as far as like, HR 676, things like that, that need people to vote on to get passed. That's how legislation gets passed in states. You have to vote on it. If they only have one choice for president, nobody's coming out, you jackass. Like, seriously. Let me see if there's any. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm just seeing a lot of pictures of people in line, things like that. I'm not seeing any actual results. Someone, I'm not sure who they were from, but someone stated earlier that they were in a dead heat, which I kind of don't like the sound of that right now. But we have to, I'm sure we got a lot of mail-in votes. I'm sure. But the question is, are they going to count them? And are they going to count them right? That's the question. So are they going to announce it and then like 3 days later be like, oh, but we have mail-in ballots, but we called it for Joe and now Bernie dropped out and fuck you. So like I could understand more if we had more votes tomorrow or next week and next week and next week, but we don't. We don't have any votes for 2 months. There is no fucking reason for Bernie to drop. Are you listening, Bernie? I'm not fucking around. I will be devastated. After the phone call I had with the staff member, my poor husband, because he literally, I'm not kidding you. I shouldn't even say this because he literally thought someone died the way I was ugly crying. He's like, oh my God, what happened? And I'm like, Bernie might be dropping. And he's like, oh no. And he was upset. He knew I was upset for that, but he literally thought someone died. So I'm just trying to prepare myself. I know there's no way to prepare yourself, but even if Bernie stays in for another month or two, every fucking day, I'm going to be worried he's going to drop. It's really that iffy. And he's not fucking doing shit to ease our minds. That's for sure. 2 weeks ago, like a week and a half ago, he registered to be on the New Jersey ballot. That's the first sense of calm I've had. That day, I was like, oh my God, he just registered to be on New Jersey ballot. It's not till June 9th. Woo. And then, the next day it was like, my my campaign is discussing things and, vague things like that. It's crazy. It's like he is being so vague. Why can't he just say, I'm staying in because my supporters want me to stay in. They believe I'm a fighter and I'm going to be a fighter. Joe hasn't conceded to anything. The reason why, he stayed in as long as he did in 2016 was, number one, he promised us he'd go to convention. Number two, he was pushing it as long as he could till Hillary actually conceded and gave us some things like free college, $15 an hour minimum wage, things like that. Joe hasn't given us shit. I wouldn't believe him anyway, but the fact of the matter is, like, he has leverage right now. Bernie could literally go to Biden and be like, yo, I want to be your fucking Secretary of State. Like, Bernie could literally say anything, and what are you doing? So it's really fucking frustrating. Joe was on TV today, and someone sent me the clip. I don't have a quote, unfortunately, but Joe said something along the lines of, I'm really looking forward to having Bernie play a big part in our campaign, but not officially, like a VP or anything. Bitch, you literally just said you were pandering for votes. He literally just said he wants him to play a part in his campaign, but not in an official matter. Dude, fuck you. Like, I'm still not going to vote for your ass. We did this thread on Twitter, and I was fucking losing it. People started saying, like mine was, Bernie could show up at my doorstep with a shirtless Mark Ruffalo, French fries and blue cheese dressing, a signed copy of Catcher in the Rye, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I still would tell him I'm not voting for fucking Joe Biden. Like, a lot of libs cannot comprehend the simple fact that we don't obey. They say Bernie needs to make his fans vote for Biden. First of all, we're not fans, we're supporters. Second of all, we don't obey shit. Period. We don't. Bernie can beg. I'm not voting for Joe. He asked me to vote for Hillary last time. No. Hell no. It's my vote. I'm voting for who the fuck I want to vote for. Just because I love someone doesn't mean I'm going to, like, obey what they're asking. It's, Bernie's family. And if my parents told me to vote for someone and I didn't want to, I would tell them no too. I understand that, Trump is, I'm reading the comments. I understand that Bernie is in a really unique situation, as he was in 2016. He is absolutely blamed day after day for giving us Trump. We all know that is complete bullshit. 100% bullshit. We all know this. But he is blamed for it. And, that's his fear again this time. This I know from my conversation with the staff member. He is scared that... I mean, he's terrified Trump's going to win again, and he's going to feel like it's somehow his fault. I get it. I completely understand. But it's not going to be his fault, just like it wasn't in 2016. The only way it's going to be his fault is if he abandons us and we are that pissed that we don't fucking vote at all. And Biden, will not win against Trump. Trump will fucking destroy Biden. Biden can't even say a sentence without just mumbling shit. Biden literally was on TV 2 days ago with his wife, or yesterday with his wife, and didn't say one word until the end when he said, "Can I talk now? Thank you for watching." Like, he literally asked his wife if it was okay if he talked. He was standing there. They were sitting there doing a joint interview, and she talked the entire time. He wasn't even allowed to talk. Dude, like, you're voting for someone who is incompetent. He has good days. What does that mean? Biden has good days, like when he's not physically assaulting people and, like, I don't know what good days is. So the fact of the matter is, and I was telling Sean King, and I message a lot, not to brag, I'm just saying, like, he's really cool. Yeah, Brad, absolutely, she did. And then, I digress, but so, it's Dr. Jill Biden, Whoopi Goldberg, who just loves Bernie. She's always so fair and nice to him. Whoopi actually stated on The View, the best show ever, that that Biden should appoint Dr. Jill Biden as Surgeon General, but she's a doctor of education, so that didn't go well. And of course, Bernie bros were, scolded for saying that we were attacking Jill Biden, and we totally weren't. We were making fun of Whoopi for not even being knowledgeable enough to Google the fact that she's not a fucking doctor. Whoopi is like, oh my God. I felt like, nearest Handon and stuff were like here, but now it's like Whoopi and Alyssa Milano are like going even higher. Oh yeah, but I was talking to Sean King earlier in Messenger, and I was telling, he was like asking for like a translation of one of Joe's speeches from yesterday, because nobody can, it just makes no sense whatsoever. He starts saying words and then stops, and it just makes no sense. So I messaged him and I said, look, I'm going to tell you something, and this is a true story. The one time I was watching a debate and I had the subtitles on because, I'm taking notes and stuff for my show afterwards. And when I had the subtitles on, when Joe was speaking, it literally was saying ... indecipherable ... indecipherable. True story. I was like, holy fuck, closed caption can't even make out what the fuck this dude's saying. Picturing him on a debate stage with Trump, I would be so mortified to be an American. I would just be mortified that other countries would look at this and think this represented our country. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. But it makes me sad that I'm even laughing because it's so fucking serious. So I don't know, you guys. I'm nervous. I really am. I am nervous that the results are going to come out today and Bernie's going to be like, I'm done. I did my part, speaking to that person on the phone and just like, basically no holds barred, telling them he's going to literally, damage our revolution, that he started, and it'll never be the same. Because while it is not me, us, he's the only one on the inside who can continue this fight. Yes, we're all activists. We're going to continue being activists. But the point is, we've been giving our lives to the campaign. We want to see Bernie elected as president. It's our last chance. Furthermore, people are dying, and he's our only hope. He's the only thing that gets a lot of us out of bed in the morning. So he has a responsibility to our movement to take our cues. We'll tell you when it's time. It's not time at all. Oh, Bernie. So we'll see. Only thing I can do is just, hope he fucking, uses his fucking brain. But unfortunately, it's not our call. All we can do is just keep tweeting at him, emailing. The people in the campaign probably fucking hate me so much. I'm emailing them. I'm texting them. Being a journalist, I never, ever, 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 ever use the contacts I have for anything other than setting up a show. Yeah, the past few days I've been texting people I probably should. Just don't let him drop out. Don't you fucking let him drop out. I swear to fucking God. And it's I cannot help it. I gotta believe that I've done everything I can to make him stay in. And if I can't deal with the fact of thinking, maybe if I would have said this, or maybe if I would have reached out to this person, I've reached out to everyone I know on that campaign. Everyone I know. Fucking family members, fucking you name it. I've harassed everyone. So I'm look, tough shit, block me or you're gonna keep hearing from me. Period. So I'm just going to check one more time before I log off. I don't see any results. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet, guys. Dude, Brad, I'm not even kidding you. My friend and I were joking about that. I get it, Elizabeth. I get it. Bye! Brad, that's awesome. Oh my God, it's so believable. All right, guys. Oh, before I go, I am so fucking excited. So I'm doing a very rare thing on Friday. I am doing something that I've never done. A very unconventional show. Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I am so fucking excited. So I have the multi-platinum band Eve 6 coming on. And we are, I'm calling it Bands for Bernie. They're huge burners and very political progressives. And I cannot wait to have them. We are going to have so much fun. I've seen them 14 times throughout the years. You guys all know who they are. they've had like a bajillion #1 songs. But yeah, it turns out that they watch and they've subscribed. So I found that out and I was like, oh yeah, we're doing a fun show. So yeah, I'm so excited. Eve 6 on Friday with me, Max and John. We're going to try to do a little something musically, but it's, we are kind of separated, so we're gonna try. But at the very least, we're hoping Max can at least sing, and I'll have maracas. Yeah, Brad, I'm so excited. Yeah, Nathan, it's Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So the boys are really excited. I cannot wait. It is going to be freaking awesome. Also, you want to tune in because I'm going to be fucking fangirling like you have never seen before. I've met them at least 10 times, but I didn't know that they knew, they remembered me and knew who I was or anything. So this is really humbling and crazy, and just to see one of my favorite bands say, yay, I want to come on. What? So yeah, I'm gonna be fangirling like crazy. If you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the first time I was on the Humanist Report or the first time that Mike Figueredo came on my show, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like me smiling ear to ear, bright red. That's what it's gonna be like. I know. I just know. That's so crazy. Okay, now I'm blushing just thinking about it. I'm gonna have to take some serious booze beforehand. So thank you guys so much for watching. As usual, I may go live again during the week if certain something happens and I need to flip the fuck out. But at this point, please definitely tune in Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, so we can just have some fun and talk about, Bernie, but in a fun way, and talk about, I also want to address what it's like to, be these multi-platinum rock stars and still be comfortable enough from, with themselves that they can post about supporting Bernie and being, and their progressive politics and not fear that they're going to lose fans. Because a lot of people are not that open. We see that. A lot of people are very, a lot of famous people are very closed off politically because they don't want to hurt, their brand. But Eve 6 is very we're burners. We are Bernie or bust. They have said they will not vote for Joe, period. So there are kind of people, and they're hot and they're talented. So yeah, I'm very excited and fortunate to have them. So Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, bring your party hats, bring your maracas. We're going to rock out and have some fun. So thanks again for watching, you guys. Much love.